This training video has been created to help you get to grips with drawing 2D shapes and finding their line or lines of symmetry. We recommend that you watch the video, you use the Functional Skills Maths Familiarisation questions in Calibrand to practice drawing your own 2D shapes and lines of symmetry. We recognise that drawing shapes online isn't quite the same as doing it on paper. Our markers are trained to be positive with their marking, and so you don't always need to be producing perfect drawings. You should try to be as accurate as possible. In this video, we'll show you how to draw some of the more difficult shapes as well as the features of our systems that can help you to do this. We recommend that you practice drawing shapes yourself. You start by drawing a few simple shapes like squares and triangles. After this, move on to the shapes in the video. When you draw any shape, it's best to make good use of the square paper on the screen. Remember that a rhombus has 4 sides and that all the same length, and it has 2 pairs of opposite angles that are of the same size. The easiest place to start is at the intersection between a horizontal and a vertical line. From here, you can use the straight line tool to draw the first 2 sides of the shape. It's best to count the number of squares down and the number of squares across when drawing these lines. In this case, it's a 4 square down and 2 squares across. Doing this will help to keep the sides the same length. Remember to start a separate line with the straight line drawing tool for each side of the shape. To draw the next 2 lines, you need to follow the same process of counting squares with a new line for each side. Now you have drawn all 4 sides of the shape, the next step is the line of symmetry. Lines of symmetry are best drawn using dash lines. To draw dash lines, select the line drawing tool, then the dash line option. The rhombus has 2 lines of symmetry. They both run from opposite corners. In this case, you can draw them from left to right, top to bottom. Finally, you can use the text box to label the lines of symmetry. When you need to draw any shape, it's best to make good use of the square paper on the screen. Remember that a kite has 2 pairs of sides that are the same length, and it has 1 pair of opposite angles that are the same size. The easiest place to start is at an intersection between a horizontal and a vertical line. From here, you can use the straight line tool to draw the first 2 sides of the shape. You will do 2 the same length. It is best to count the number of squares down and the number of squares across when drawing these lines. In this case, it is 2 squares down and 2 squares across. Doing this will help to keep the sides the same length. Remember to start a separate line with the straight line drawing tool for each side of the same shape. The next 2 lines need to be the same length as each other but longer or shorter than the first 2. It's easy if we make them longer. The kite only has 1 line of symmetry. Lines of symmetry are best drawn using the dash lines. To draw dash lines, select the line drawing tool, then the dash line option. The line of symmetry runs from the top corner to the bottom one. If you don't draw accurately first time, you can use the back button and try again. Finally, you can use a text box to label the line of symmetry. You can use the navigation tool to move around the square paper for drawing if you need more space. For the next example of a kite, the first two lines are going to start from an intersection on the square paper. The first two sides will be the same size, 3 squares long. This time they follow the line on the squared paper. Next, we will put in the line of symmetry. It will go diagonally from the corner between the two sides that you have drawn. The final step is to draw the other two sides. For the kite to be accurate, they must be the same length as each other. To guarantee this, they must start at the end of the first two lines and meet at the same point on the line of symmetry. Remember, there are two types of trapezium: regular and irregular. Both have 4 sides with a single pair of parallel lines. It is only irregular that has the line of symmetry, so that's what you'll draw. Start with the 2 parallel lines. For the top line, we will start at an intersection between a horizontal and a vertical line on the grid. From here, you can use the straight line tool to draw the top line. To make it easier to find the line of symmetry, I'd recommend that you draw it at an even number of squares along 4. This is a good size. The bottom line needs to be parallel with the top, but longer. Select the line drawing tool and then draw it 1 square longer at each end. If you miscount, you can use the undo button to remove the line and start again. Now we need to join the 2 parallel lines together. For each line, select the line drawing tool and draw lines that link together the bottom and the top lines. If you make a mistake and the line is too long, you can use the eraser tool to shorten the line. The trapezium has only 1 line of symmetry. Lines of symmetry are best drawn using the dash line. To draw dashed lines, select the line drawing tool, then the dashed line option. The line of symmetry runs from the top to the bottom halfway across both the parallel sides. As we made the top line 4 square long, the line of symmetry should be 2 squares either side. Finally, you can use a text box to label the line of symmetry. It would be very difficult to draw a regular hexagon with 6 sides the same length, all angles the same size, and 6 lines of symmetry on paper or on the computer, so we will draw one with 2 lines of symmetry. We'll start by drawing 2 parallel lines, even number of boxes apart, 6 squares. For each line, we will start at an intersection between a horizontal and a vertical line on the grid and draw a line 4 squares long. To draw the line, select the line drawing tool. We can repeat this for the bottom line. Draw it parallel to the first one, but 6 boxes below. If you make the line too long, you can use the undo tool to remove it and then draw it again. We can now draw the next two sides. Remember to use the line drawing tool each time. Start at the end of the bottom line and draw a diagonal side. 3 boxes up and 2 boxes to the left. The next line to draw joins up the top side of the shape. Select the line drawing tool and count 3 boxes up and 2 to the right. Now repeat the process for the other sides of the hexagon, selecting the straight line tool each time. This hexagon has 2 lines of symmetry. These can be drawn with dashed lines by selecting the line drawing tool and then the dashed line icon. The 2 lines of symmetry are a vertical one and a horizontal one. If you start from the incorrect place, you can rub out the line with the eraser tool and start again. Finally, you can use the text box to label the line of symmetry.